Welcome back to the Progression Podcast. I'm your host, 007 Man, and I'm so glad to be back with you. It's been a great year, great month, great week, great day, great hour, great second. And man, God is amazing. So good to be back with you, man. Like I tell you, we're the Progression Podcast. Right on the screen. We the Progression Podcast. We speak liberation, education, and elevation. I was liberated from the street life, educated in the prison system, and elevated once I gave my life to Jesus Christ. I always say that because this is going to talk about liberation, man. This show, setting you free from things that you might think you don't do, but you do. But you might not see them. I always talk about 2 Corinthians 5:17. Therefore, if any man be in Christ, he is a new creation. Old things are passed away, and behold, all things are brand new. We're going to talk about misdirected hate. Misdirected hate. Hey, man, this is going to be one of them ones. I know I always say that. I always say this is going to be one of them ones. This is going to be one of them ones. And I'm going to comb your hair for you today. I'm going to comb your hair for you today. Like this old preacher used to say that. He said, I'm going to get you right. And I understand what he was talking about. Hey, I'm coming from 1 Thessalonians 4:11. 4:11 and 12. I've used this same scripture for a past podcast, but I think this podcast, it fits it so well. It fits it so well. And I want you to read along with me. 4:11, 1 Thessalonians. Make it your goal to live a quiet life, minding your own business and working with your hands, just as we instructed you before. Then people who are not believers will respect the way you live. Listen, make it your goal to live a quiet life, minding your own business and working with your hands, just as we instructed you before. Then people who are not believers will respect the way you live. Look, this is so honest. I have to say this, misdirected anger. The reason I'm doing this is because it's not a get back at anyone, but I'll be receiving a lot of DMs, and I receive a lot of not a lot because I'm not famous. Not a lot of people listening to my podcast yet, but I keep going because I know that's the only way it can happen. If I quit, it will never happen. But if I don't keep going and try, it just won't happen. So I got to keep going. That's nevertheless, I got to tell you about this. So a lot of my comments that are good comments, and I thank y'all for leaving comments and stuff on my stuff, but a lot of the good comments be about what I'm talking about, and they give me big props, man. It's a lot of people that say, man, they got me through my day. Hey, man, that helped me right there. But it's some comments, and that's negative, in which I welcome it all. I welcome the negative comments as well. But those comments be more about my aesthetics. So one comment, well, not one comment, but a lot of comments that are negative talk about these my shoe collection. They say, oh, you're not giving us real good game because, man, you wasting your money on the shoe collection. You don't really even know me, right? You don't know if Nike sent me those shoes or whoever sent me those shoes for free. You don't know. Now, I'm not saying they do. I'm just saying that you don't know the story behind the cases and the shoes because you don't know me. You make this assumption of I'm just stupid, I'm this and that because you see that stuff behind me. Or you just don't like the shirts I'm wearing, or you don't like the studio I have. it's all about aesthetics when it's a negative thing, but when it's something else, but I welcome it all and I welcome y'all. But I think and correct me if I'm wrong and come down in the comments. Please give me some more comments. I need them negative and positive. Misdirected hate. I think they suffer from a misdirected hate. And I want to get into it. And I want my first topic is self-honesty. Self-honesty. I just want to ask a real question. Do you hate what others are doing or what others are having because secretly in your mind, you know you probably lack the ability to do what they're doing or have what they're having? Really, I don't think you lack the ability. I think you might think you lack the ability to do what they're doing or have what they're having, right? So, self honesty, we got to get it right with ourselves, right? Think about this. Have you convinced yourself that rich people are evil? And then you tell yourself something like, man, I don't want to be rich because I don't want to stop being a good person. You know, you got to be a good person, and rich people, they not good people. Have you convinced yourself of that and talk yourself into start uh, criticizing those that are getting money or those that are have a podcast or those that have started something? And when you have started, if you haven't started it, but you criticize that thing, right? And I think that it's a misdirected hate or even a misdirected anger because it's in the mirror that you don't do that kind of stuff. And it's okay because we all are different. And I'm gonna get into this. We all are different. We all have different things in life that moves us, that motivates us, that we do that, that we like. But I want to talk about that because this is being honest. I'm gonna talk about that fake criticism. Fake criticism. When you were when you try to critique something, uh, is it from a is it coming from an honest view or a view of I don't have it, so I'm going to say it's ugly or ungodly or sinful? Like, sometimes I hear people say, "Oh man, that Bentley, ooh, that Bentley is so ugly. I don't even know why he went bought that." Hey man, he might not think it's ugly. He got him a Bentley. That's what he wanted, and you don't know why he getting it, right? Do it make you feel like above someone, or do it make you feel like you're more morally, you have a more moral compass than someone when you criticize somebody for having something or doing something that you in your head you'll say you'll never do that? Why am I doing that? I wouldn't have no, I wouldn't even have all that stuff back there, man, because that's the now if you seen the whole room, you'll really say I'm fiscally or financially ignorant. You know what I'm saying? But this is what I want to do. This is what I want to do. That is, let me tell you. I'm gonna go through some phases. Number one, number one, you might not act like the fact that. Wait a minute, wait. I'm gonna say this over because it's in my head, but it's a thing that we do in the hood, and I gotta start that over because I gotta critique. It's a thing we do in the hood that I used to see, and might not be in your neighborhood, but in my neighborhood, I do see it. So Johnny goes to prison. Johnny gets 20 years. Johnny gets home. He does 18 years and he comes home, and they throw a big party and they welcome Johnny home and they say, "Man, Johnny, what's up, man? We got to get you. Woo, woo, woo." It's a big celebration and the whole hood rejoices, right? Now, Jimmy comes home from college, got a 4-year degree, and from the whole hood, except his family, because they super proud of Jimmy. The whole hood is crickets. I don't know why is that like that. It's some misdirected hate that happens. Let me tell you, you might not like the fact that he left and quote unquote you had to stay. Have you convinced yourself that doing time in prison is a badge of honor and you hate success if it's not you that has the success? Have you tricked your mind into believing that? Hey, don't do that, man. Hey, I'm not just telling you some stuff. We're going to get into some practices of cleaning that up and helping you to break away from that, mindset. And only way to break away from that mindset is maturity. That's the only way. Maturity is like we have to understand we are not the same. That's maturity. I had to do the same thing. You got to understand our lives are vastly different, right? We grew up different. We're taught different. We have different goals. Our lives are just different. We have different goals for our lives and stuff like that. We are going to make decisions for our lives according to how we think or past experiences and stuff like that. And I got an example. Check this out. This is one example of something, right? A woman at your job, you're at work, right? And you say, hey, you want to go get something to eat? We go get something to eat. I drive, and so y'all driving and she's in the passenger seat and you go down this certain street and she said, hey, I feel uncomfortable going down this street. Can you go down another street and go the other way to get there? And you like, man, this lady tripping, man. And you see she's visibly shaking, you know what I'm saying? She just quiet the whole time to the restaurant. And then she's quiet the whole time through ordering. She don't even order, you order. You take her back to the office, then you see Phil at the water cooler, and you say, man, Karen, man, Janet or whoever, she was tripping, man. You know what? Man, I ain't gonna never talk to her. She weird, man. She weird. I would never act like that. What you don't realize is that maybe that street, she was raped on that street. She didn't tell you because you don't need to know all her business. And when she rides on that street or rides through that street, she might be triggered to remember that trauma that she felt at that time. And so she was like, hey, can that I'm saying that you don't know it all. You might critique something that you don't know the insides, the whole story, and you're not knowing. Look, and I'm gonna do it with money right now. Say Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods buys a 70-foot yacht, you know, and you say, he don't need that yacht. He don't need all that. That's a waste of money, man. He don't know how to balance. He don't know how to, do his money right. If he knew how to do his money right, he'd be doing this. And at the same time, you living at home with your mama. I just can't make it make sense to me. But you don't know his life, right? His financial situation for buying a yacht could be like the equivalent to you paying a month's rent. It might be different for him than you, or him buying a Bentley or a dude buying a Bentley might be the equivalent to you buying lunch for somebody or buying lunch for you and somebody. For him, y'all money is not the same, and you can't judge. I saw it in Jeff Bezos. He had a wedding, and so man, so many people went on him and telling him how to go. But the thing is, the more visible you are, the more scrutiny you will get. So it's like LeBron James, when they say, "Oh, he don't have to do that. Oh, he don't need that. Oh, why he doing this? Why?" Hey, that's that man business. What you worried about it for? It's misdirected hate, and I think the hate is in the mirror. And hey, like I told you, we're gonna get over it because we're gonna find a solution for it. We're gonna find a solution for it. Look, I want to go into this topic. Have some empathy. And you know what empathy is. I'm going to read it. I have a computer right here. It went black and it went dark, but I already know. Y'all see this computer? It went dark. I think is my battery is low. But oh, there it go. It came up. Y'all see it came up. Okay. The battery is low. But look, empathy. The ability to understand and share the feelings of another. If you can't if you can't empathize with someone, how they might feel or what they might want to do, maybe you need to be quiet and just run your race. Let's go back to the text, man. Let's go back to the text. Make it your goal to live a quiet life, minding your own business and working with your hands, just as we instructed you before. Then people who are not believers will respect the way you live, and you will not need to depend on others. Even people not of the faith will understand, hey man, that dude mind his business, man. He don't be in people's business. That's what it's all about. Run your race. Run your race. My last thoughts. I got to tell y'all, I told you that it's not one of those beat up sessions to a person that watches other people, pocket watching, what they call it now, and then say, oh man, he don't need that, you don't need that. And it's a misdirected hate, I'm telling y'all. And my last thoughts is power. Power. Now think about this. You have the power to change your life. You don't have to stay the same. And you don't have to look at everybody and say, hey man, he got this. I wish he don't need that. But really and secretly, you saying you wish you had that. Or he doing this. Or secretly you're saying, man, I wish I was doing that. And I'm gonna talk about power. Why power? Why power? See, y'all know what the opposite of why power was? Willpower. You know, I got willpower, right? I got willpower to do some things, like to make some things happen, you know what I'm saying, in my life. I do have the willpower, right? But what I need is the why power. Why am I doing this? Why am I hating? Why am I'm not why am I criticizing everything? Why am I so negative? Or the flip of why not? Why not do what I need to do to get to that point? Look here, I'm gonna tell you a story. I'm looking to the camera because my wife say I never look into the camera. Look, so I have a 20-foot beam, 20-foot long beam, and it's 4 foot in the air, right? So I tell you, I say, hey man, I got this beam that's 4 foot, it's 4 foot in the air off the ground. And if you in a 20-foot long beam, and if you walk it from end to end, when you get to the end, I'm gonna give you $1,000. Now you might say, hey man, yeah, I do that. You know, I got the will to do that. I got willpower. I can do that. And I get that 1,000 when I come off, right? Now, what if I change this up? Same scenario, but the beam is 1,000 feet in the air from building to building, and you could fall, right? Do you have the willpower to do that? And I told you I'll give you $1,000 still when you do that. You'll say, no, man, I'm not gonna do that. You know what I'm saying? Wait a minute. Picture your child in the middle of the beam. Now would you do it? It's your why. Why now? How important is it to you to do this? You got to have power to change. Your power depends on you changing. Don't worry about what everybody else is doing around you. You have goals, you have dreams, you have things that you want to do. You have a family. I'm talking about everybody has a family. I don't care if somebody say, "Oh man, all my people got," no, somebody in this world is related to you. And if they're not, your brother and your sisters are all around you. White, black, Latino, uh, Asian, all of them are our brothers. Somebody cares about you. Somebody cares. So what you got to do is do for you. Do what you got to do. Now, misdirected hate. I want to go right back over it. And I know I ain't gonna keep you long, like 40 minutes or nothing like that. Misdirected hate. I came from First Thessalonians 4:11 and 12. Read it for yourself. This is Paul talking to the church of Thessalonica, however you say it. He's talking to the church, right? And he's telling them, you know what I'm saying? He's giving them instructions on how to live, right? So it says, make it your business to live a quiet life, minding your own business and working with your own hands, just as we instructed you before. Then people who are not believers will respect the way you live, right? Self-honesty. We talked about self-honesty, man. Do you just hate because you trick yourself to believing that people that are wealthy are not good people? Have you tricked yourself into believing that? Man, get that out the way. You need the power to break that. You got to have the power to break that. And I talked about that. It's this stuff, it's this power, we have to break it. So when I talk about power, uh, you know what? I got something that I need. It's the power to break things, right? The power to break things, right, is real life. And you gotta to break these habits, and hating is a habit. You know what I'm saying? You know how they had the old song, balling is a habit. Hating is a habit. Look, this is something I was taught. Good habits are hard to create, but easy to lose. Let me tell you why he says that. Good habits are hard to create, but easy to lose. So you know, they hard. Good habits, like working out and stuff, it's hard to start, going to the gym all the time. You know what I'm saying? But if you keep going, you know what I'm saying, you'll get used to it. But if you doing it and then you stop and don't do it for a long time, a good habit, man, it's easy to lose. You can stop it. Now, a bad habit is easy to create and hard to lose. Think about this. So maybe you went on a trip and you started drinking or you started smoking, you never did this. And then you come back off that trip and then you find yourself, man, I'm still drinking that stuff or still smoking how I was. And then now you got a habit, a negative habit, right? So I'm trying to tell you that maybe you need to get in practice of having empathy for somebody else. Don't always critique or judge. I didn't say judge nowhere in this thing, because I know people that's not of the faith that know the Bible. They'll say, oh, judge not, but you need to read the whole passage, right? It's why power, right? We talked about the fake criticism too. We was talking about, like, is it real? Do you really feel that way? Or are you just saying that because you want to dismiss something because you don't have it? We talked about Jimmy and Johnny, how Johnny was coming home from prison and you celebrated, but then you was mad at Johnny because he was a 4-year degree. So you went to the negative instead of the positive. And you know what I'm saying? You was like, you done trick yourself to seeing that going to prison is a badge of honor. So we celebrate that. And then you like putting your face, oh, he think he more than us. Oh man, he think he's something because he got that 4-year degree, because he left the hood. And sometimes the thing about it, we see more of that other thing because them dudes that do have the 4-year degree, they sometimes don't even come back to the hood. They keep going and keep going. I'm telling you, my brother, he did it. My little brother, he went from college, 4-year degree, then he went to getting his master's, and then he went to getting his doctorate. He was living in Houston. He grew up in Fifth Ward. He left Houston, started staying in Beaumont. Then he stayed in DC. Then he left there and went to Rhode Island. He was doing some stuff. Hey man, dude, like, and I celebrate that dude every time I see him because I'm so proud of him. I'm so proud of him. I'm so proud of all my people that's around me because I see him trying, man. I see him trying. That fake criticism, though, you got to get that out of there. And we talked about maturity. Maturity, man, is knowing that everybody is different. Everybody don't think like you think. You know what I'm saying? Even money wise, financial wise, people use their money different. Some people like Steve Jobs, man. Steve Jobs, he wouldn't care if he lost everything, because he knew in his mind that he was cold, he could get it back, right? So maturity is knowing that everybody is different. Everybody not thinking like you, right? And so then I talked about having some empathy, man. Have the ability to understand and share the feelings of another, right? And then on my last thoughts, I talk about power, and I talked about why power. Hey, make your why. Why are you doing this? Hey, why am I not doing what they doing? But I criticize it all the time, but really on the cool. It's fake criticism, and I want to do it. I want to be one of them. Hey man, I love y'all. 007, man. I've been with y'all in the beginning. I'm gonna keep going, and I want to explain that to you too. I gotta keep going with this podcast. I might not be seeing the numbers, right? But I gotta keep going. I gotta keep trying. I gotta keep doing it, because really and truly it ministers to me. I listen to those podcasts, those older podcasts, and I listen to them, and man, it gives me motivation. It gives me the motivation not to be doing crazy stuff out there in the world, because I say, man, you just did a podcast about that. You saying don't do that, and you're doing it. No, I'm going to be held accountable because I'm giving this to the world. Hey man, 007, I love y'all. Peace.